Welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. King Shukdatta rides and reviews the latest motorcycles in the market. Watch the first ride review of Aprilia Tuono 457 and KTM 390 Adventure. Mohit Bharadwaj brings the first glimpse of Audi's most powerful production car, RSQ8.
To start off, the front fascia is now changed. These matrix LED headlamps, they are revised. In fact, जो DRL pattern है वो नया है, जो grill है उसको बदल दिया गया है. It's an all black unit now. जो पहले chrome surround आपको मिलता था वो अब नहीं मिलेगा. It also gets a 2D Audi logo. Now on the RSQ8 facelift, you're getting a new design for the alloy wheels. ये आपको 5-spoke Y-shaped alloy wheels मिल जाते हैं. उसी के साथ आपको यहाँ पर ceramic brake setup भी मिल जाता है अगर आप चूज करना चाहें तो. While the silhouette hasn't changed on the RSQ8 facelift, but there are some tweaks on the rear face as well. Just like the front, आपको यहाँ पर नए tail lamps देखने को मिलेंगे and the bumper is also revised. जो इसका diffuser है वो बिल्कुल नया है. In fact, you now have the option of RS exhaust system, which gives you a more melodious soundtrack just in case if you want to have. Now on the inside, this most powerful ice car from Audi certainly feels sporty if nothing. हालांकि जो डैशबोर्ड लेआउट है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा रेगुलर Q8 से मेल खाता है, बट आपको रेस पैक क्लस्टर एनिमेशंस मिल जाते हैं. उसी के साथ आपको यहाँ पर 2 स्क्रीन मिलती हैं, वन फॉर योर क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल सेटअप, अनदर इज़ योर इंफोटेनमेंट यूनिट. लेकिन अगर बात करें स्पोर्टी बिट्स की तो यहाँ पर आपको अलकंटारा की भरमार मिल जाएगी. इट इज़ यूज्ड ऑन द स्टीयरिंग व्हील, इट इज़ ऑल्सो यूज्ड ऑन द डोर पैड्स, द गियर लीवर एंड द सेंटर आर्मरेस्ट. नाउ दीज सीट्स दे कम विद रेड स्टिचिंग, बट Audi is saying that you will have a plethora of customization options जहाँ पर आप अलग अलग कलर्स चूज़ कर सकते हैं for your seat belts, for your seat stitching and a lot of other inserts. In fact, उसी के साथ आपको यहाँ पर brushed aluminum finish और कार्बन फाइबर ट्रिम्स का भी इस्तेमाल देखने को मिलता है. एंड ऑल इन ऑल इट्स अ फेयरली स्पोर्टी येट लग्जूरियस केबिन टू बी इन. फीचर्स की बात करें तो आपको वायरलेस फ़ोन चार्जर, एक Bang & Olufsen का 17 स्पीकर साउंड सिस्टम, पैनोरामिक सनरूफ, वेंटिलेटेड एंड मसाजिंग फ्रंट सीट्स विद मेमोरी फंक्शंस यहाँ देखने को मिल जाएंगे. बट हाउ फास्ट इज़ द Audi RSQ8 facelift? Let's find that out. Now underneath this hood you are getting a 4-liter twin turbo V8 which produces 640 horses against 850 Newton meters of max torque. Now if I have to talk of top speed, well, it is restricted at 305 kilometers to an hour and 0 to 100 kmph sprint के लिए ये गाड़ी लेती है सिर्फ 3.6 seconds. Now that certainly is a fast thing. Now channeling that power to the wheels is an 8-speed gearbox. Also यहाँ पर आपको Audi का quattro all-wheel drive system मिल जाता है and for sharper handling you're also getting adaptive air suspension along with all-wheel steering. उसी के साथ Audi यहाँ पर आपको active sport differential भी दे रहा है so that the performance never remains a compromised affair.
The baby Tuono continues to get the same 457cc parallel twin engine from the RS457, making 47.6 horsepower at 9400 rpm, along with having peak torque output of 43.5 Newton meters at 6700 rpm. The engine is paired to a 6-speed gearbox that has a slip and assist clutch. As usual, the quick shifter is an optional extra. In terms of suspension, the motorcycle gets 41mm USD fork, which is adjustable for preload, and a monoshock at the rear which can be adjusted for preload as well. Up front, there is a 320mm floating disc with 4-piston radial caliper, and at the rear is a 220mm disc with a single piston caliper.
Talking about the performance of the Tuono 457, well, it's that of the RS457. That's because there has been a slight revision in the way the motorcycle functions, which means that the rear sprocket has one tooth extra. That means better performance in the bottom end and the mid-range. So the acceleration of the line is really quick and you build up speed very quickly. But where you sacrifice is the fact that the top end performance is slightly lacking. But then how many times are you going to spend riding the motorcycle right at the top end? I think for urban environments this is a great hack, right? and the engine isn't as refined as I thought it would be. There are vibrations, particularly at the 4000 RPM, right in the meat of the power band when you're riding at say 50 to 70 kilometers per hour in the second or the third gear. That's when you'll feel the vibrations. At the top end, the vibrations deaden down a bit, but overall, the performance, the acceleration in particular, is absolutely fantastic. And if you want to make a quick overtaking maneuver, there's more than enough juice in the engine. And if you want to talk about the in-gear acceleration, so say if you're in the third gear and you're riding at say 40 kilometers per hour, so from third gear in 40 kmph, you can always go up to triple digit speeds. That's how tractable the engine is. So yes, the performance on the Tuono 457, it's a good thumbs up from us, but the refinement could be slightly better. So the wide handlebar means that you can spend more time riding this motorcycle, particularly in the harsh urban environment where riding in peak traffic. The ergonomics quite comfortable, and you sit upright. The handlebar is wider. It is also 150 mm taller, and it is also closer to the rider, right? So you're comfortable, the perch is really nice, you get a good view of the motorcycle, and as far as the handling is concerned, it feels as sharp as the RS457, and there's more leverage because the handlebar is wide, so filtering through traffic is easy. And if you want to make quick direction changes, like we saw while riding up Nandi Hills in Bangalore, yes, the motorcycle listens to you and to your inputs, right? And if you were to talk about the ride quality of the motorcycle, well, it is on the stiffer side, but that's definitely not a deal breaker, because till the time the roads are fine, you're going to have a blast on this motorcycle. Small undulations will be taken care of. It is the bigger, sharp-edged undulations that you'll feel, particularly on your back. And yes, the front suspension is adjustable for preload, so you can tweak it according to your weight, according to your riding style. And yes, the riding experience will become better. Also, the TVS Eurogrip Pro Torque tires, they're the same as the ones on the RS457, which means there's plenty of grip and the cornering clearance is quite good too. The bite from the brakes is nice, it is progressive, and yes, the ABS and the traction control in itself, it's not very intrusive. So yes, quite impressed with the way the Tuono 457 performs.
The Tuono 457 is priced at 3,95,000 rupees ex-showroom, and like the RS, it is manufactured at Aprilia's plant in Baramati, Maharashtra. In fact, India is the only place where the RS457 and the Tuono 457 are manufactured. There is a chance of the Touareg 457 being launched in India too, but maybe in a year's time from now. The Tuono 457 goes up against the likes of the KTM 390 Duke, Yamaha MT-03 and the TVS Apache RTR 310.
There is no doubt about the fact that the Tuono 457 is as entertaining and as engaging as its sibling, the RS457. Well, it looks good, looks muscular, and is bound to become quite popular on Indian roads too. A parallel twin engine motorcycle, strong performance, good looks, and a decent set of features, and the pricing is par for the course too. So yes, if you want to add naked street fighter in your garage, the Aprilia Tuono 457 makes for a fantastic choice. Well, let me just put it out there, this is easily the best looking adventure motorcycle in the sub 500cc segment, right? And just look at the front end, it is like a rally raid motorcycle, as close to a rally raid motorcycle as possible. The headlight and the LED console is taken from the bigger KTM adventure motorcycles, the tall windscreen, and it gives you the impression of having a rally tower, right? So I really like that about this motorcycle, and it looks lean, mean and purpose built. And yes, I'm not going to harp on about the design details, but I really like the way the KTM 390 Adventure looks. Now let's talk about the ergonomics, right? So come on. So the seat height is 830 mm, which is tall but not unmanageable. To give you an idea, the seat of the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 is 825 mm, so this is just 5 mm taller. Not very difficult to hop on to, and I'm 5'8", and I can just easily plant my foot right here, and I can tiptoe the motorcycle. I'm very comfortable and secure, and this motorcycle weighs in at 182 kg, which is relatively on the lighter side of things, right? And it has a wide handlebar. Now one grouse that I have is the fact that when you want to stand up and ride, well, the handlebars are a little too low for my liking, right? So if I were to buy this motorcycle and ride it off-road frequently, I would install, say, handlebar risers, and then it will be perfect to stand up and ride. Right now it is a little too low, but apart from that, you sit tall, you sit upright, there's a great view of the road when you're riding. So overall ergonomics quite nice, and the seat itself is quite plush and comfortable, although we are yet to test the long ride ability of this motorcycle, right? So we'll do that once we get the motorcycle back home. Right now we're in Goa, but overall ergonomics, yes, it is comfortable.
Now the engine is the same as the one on the KTM 390 Duke. The single cylinder motor displaces 399cc and makes 46 horsepower at 8500 rpm along with 39 Newton meters at 6500 rpm. Compared to the older 390 ADV, the peak power and torque come in at 1000 rpms earlier. The stroke is longer and the engine itself is 1 kg lighter than before. The engine is paired to a 6-speed gearbox with a standard bi-directional quick shifter. The airbox also becomes bigger for better breathability, and the front and rear sprockets have been changed for better low-end traction. Coming to the cycle parts, the motorcycle gets WP Apex suspension up front with 200 mm of travel and 30-step adjustment for compression plus rebound. Similarly, the rear gets a monoshock with 10-step preload adjustment and 20-step rebound adjustment with 205 mm of travel. The chassis on the motorcycle is all new and has been designed keeping everyday rideability and solid off-road ability in mind. The front end gets a 21-inch wheel while the rear is a 17-inch unit. The rims are tubeless with offset spokes which offer better bump absorption and better durability.
So when I spent the first 30 minutes riding this motorcycle, right, I was surprised, so to say, because the new 399cc engine, LC4C engine, it felt really calm, right? But KTMs are known to be manic, mental. So this is an engine and this is a motorcycle that can be ridden in a very calm, sedate manner. And if you decide to give it the beans, then it turns into that typical 390 KTM manic, mental motorcycle, right? So to give you the numbers, 0 to 60 kilometers per hour sprint is done in just 2.6 seconds. 0 to 100 takes 6.2 seconds. These are claimed figures, of course. We'll test it out when we ride it back home, and the performance from the engine is really impressive. What KTM has done is, well, from the 390 Duke, so the engine characteristic is slightly different. Peak power and torque figures, they come in about 1000 rpms lesser, right? And the bottom end and the mid range is really strong and punchy, and which is what you need when you ride the motorcycle in city environments or even off-road for that matter. And the one grouse that I have is the fact that the engine between 4000 to 5500 rpm, it is really vibey in nature. It's not a deal breaker, and it has always been a characteristic of KTM 390 engines, but the moment you cross that 5000 5500 rpm mark, the engine smoothens out and the performance is absolutely mind-blowing. So if you want to tour on this motorcycle, if you want to go on long distance rides, yes, you can do so very comfortably. And if you want to make quick overtaking maneuvers, you can do that with ease. And the engine itself is very tractable. In the third gear, from 30 to 80 kilometers per hour, it can be done very easily. In the fourth gear, you can go from 40 to triple digit speeds in the blink of an eye. So the engine is tractable, and the down bottom end performance has been improved very much from the older KTM 390 Adventure, which had one of its flaws as being very peaky and the bottom end being completely empty. In this motorcycle, that's not the case. So yes, it is a fun to ride motorcycle in a typical KTM fashion. So talking about the handling of the 390 Adventure, well, the wheels are tubeless and spoked, and well, it is a nimble motorcycle to handle, right? It feels agile, it feels very narrow, so the midsection is very narrow, and if you want to make quick direction changes, you can do that very easily on the new 390 Adventure, despite the fact that it gets a bigger wheel up front. and the grip from this Apollo Trampler tires is really nice. And yes, even if you lean it into a corner, you'll feel very confident. And if you want to just filter through traffic in city conditions, you can do that very easily too. Talking about the ride quality, well, this has adjustable suspension up front and at the rear. So right now we have left it in stock settings. When we go off-road, then we change the settings a bit. And yes, the ride quality is plush, and you can just adjust these settings according to your weight, your riding preference, and you'll be rewarded with a very engaging ride experience. The big question, how does it perform off-road? Well, I'm happy to report that the KTM 390 Adventure is a hoot to ride off-road right now. The new engine with its new characteristics, the comfy ergonomics, and the overall chassis and suspension package is absolutely on point, right? So you want to take it over rough rocky terrain, on loose gravel tracks, or sandy terrain, muddy terrain. You want to just slide the motorcycle, you can completely switch off the rear ABS, you can turn off the traction control, and you have a hooligan at your disposal, right? So I really liked the way the motorcycle performed off-road. The one little grouse, like I said earlier, that if you're standing up and riding, the handlebar is a little too low for that. But apart from this particular miss, the overall performance of the new KTM 390 Adventure, especially when you go off-road, is something that you'll really enjoy. And why I say so is because of the fact that it is relatively lighter.
So yes, bookings are now open and deliveries are likely to begin in March 2025. The new generation 390 Adventure is priced at 3,68,000 rupees ex-showroom. And we think the pricing is competitive given the kind of level up it offers compared to the older model and even its existing rivals, the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 and the BMW G310 GS. Expect both its rivals to have sleepless nights because the kind of quality, features and performance that the KTM offers is possibly the best in the segment indeed.
Riding the new KTM 390 Adventure has been a revelation. Every time you ride this motorcycle, you'll have a wide, goofy grin plastered all over your face. Be it the on-road performance, the set of features that it has, and particularly the off-road performance, when you put everything into perspective, this is easily one of the best motorcycles you can buy in the sub 500cc adventure motorcycle category, if not the best. Its nearest rival, the Royal Enfield Himalayan, well, it has the advantage in terms of pricing. This is more expensive, slightly, but if you look at the overall picture, this definitely has a lot to offer. How does it fare against the Royal Enfield Himalayan? Well, that's a story for another day, but if you want to buy this motorcycle, it could very well be the only motorcycle in your garage because it does everything, almost everything, very nicely, and it will make you enjoy motorcycling, right? And that's what you want from your motorcycles.
The NDTV Auto Awards 2025, where automotive excellence is judged by the best in business. Our distinguished jury, a panel of seasoned experts, brings unparalleled experience, passion, and precision to the table. This year, the jury round was held at the iconic Buddh International Circuit, India's premier Formula One playground. Here, our jury rigorously tested a diverse range of motorcycles, cars, and scooters to identify the most deserving winners. Join us as we introduce the experts who meticulously evaluated each vehicle to crown the best in the business. Leading the charge is Mugdha Mishra, editor NDTV Auto. With nearly 2 decades in automotive journalism, she's shaping the future of automotive storytelling. A strategist who's launched some of India's most iconic cars. Rakesh Srivastav, former MD of Nissan India, brings unparalleled industry expertise to the jury. A journalist, an overlander, a record holder, Bertrand D'Souza has seen it all. His expertise ensures no detail is overlooked. From the World Car Awards to Indian road expeditions, Renuka Kirpalani's passion and experience make her a force in the automotive world. With millions of followers and a deep connection with car buyers, Rachit Hirani, founder of Motor Octane, knows what truly matters to Indian consumers. A 5-time national rally champion, Hari Singh knows speed, control and dynamics like no other. His motorsport background adds a racer's perspective to the jury. Bridging the gap between technology and automobiles, Nikhil Chawla, founder of the Unbiased blog, brings a digital-first approach to automotive content. Speed, precision and adventure. Kalyani Potekar, motorcycle racer and record holder, brings unmatched expertise to the two-wheeler jury. A veteran journalist and long-distance rider, Abhinav Bhatt's curiosity and technical knowledge make him a tough juror to impress. A journalist who's taken vehicles across continents, Kingshuk Datta thrives on challenges, ensuring only the best motorcycles get his approval. The fastest Indian on a 1000cc superbike at BIC, Simranjeet Singh is a racer at heart, evaluating machines with a speedster's precision. 59 countries, 12 lakh kilometers, and a lifetime of motorcycling. Deepak Gupta, also known as Mountain Man DG, brings a globetrotter's insight to the jury. An ENT surgeon by profession, a biker by passion, Dr. Arun Thareja, founder of Group of Delhi Superbikers, has dedicated his life to the brotherhood of riding. Precision, expertise, passion. This is the jury of the NDTV Auto Awards 2025. Let the best machines win.
Don't forget to join us next week when we will get you all the happenings of the NDTV Auto Awards 2025.